Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guy. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today. Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
Moving on to the next part of that, which is the next topic. The question becomes, will rideshare replace personal car ownership, as he had mentioned?
Not for
In
a
my
while.
opinion, I don't think so.
No.
And you know what? I had the same thought process, 5-8 years ago, when Uber and Lyft were really starting to take off, 2018, 2019, when it was really starting to become much bigger than what it was, prior to that. But the thing is, I think it's less of a chance of people giving up their cars currently because of the costs that is going on with Uber and Lyft. You have seen it just continue to rise and rise and rise, where people who are using the system are saying, look, we're maxed out. If you continue to raise the price, I'm going to find a different way. I'm either going to get a car or use public transportation or whatever it may be, but they're going to change how they get around instead of using Uber and Lyft. So I think they put themselves into a bad foot right now, that they are actually not going to have more people switching to car ownership. Yeah, you might get the people who are Gen Z who may not have their license yet at 24, 26 years old, and may not get that for a while, especially if they live in a city. But the reality is, give it a little time and somebody experiences driving for the first time with the freedom behind it. I don't know about you. I remember that when I got my car, I got my license, and I had the freedom to go where I wanted to. That's probably part of the reason why I hate Waymos so much, is because it infringes on that freedom of, just getting in my car, going where I want at any time I want, rolling down the windows, listening to some music, whatever it might be. So yeah, I honestly don't think that this is the perfect sales pitch for them. Yeah, we think that car ownership is going to dwindle over time, but in reality, I think if you actually evened it out, at this point, it's probably costlier to use Uber and Lyft to travel everywhere that you need to go than owning a car.
I agree with you, because if it was the days of fantasy, what do you used to call it? I used to call it fantasized, subsidized fantasy land, right? Where Uber was subsidizing a 10-mile trip was $10, right? Now 10-mile trip is $30. It's just not going to happen, right? But what's going to happen is that both companies, by the way, David Risher has said the same thing. They're going after car ownership, total cost of car ownership. So we know private cars are idle about 85% of the time, okay? Personal car utilization is about 15% if you're not a rideshare driver. You go to work, you park, you get in your car, you go home, it's parked, done. So, however, Uber and Lyft as a service, transportation service, replacing personal ownership of cars is nowhere near in sight for a long, long time to come, with the exception that driven miles, if that cost comes down to about 25 cents a mile on these autonomous vehicles, which may happen with the Tesla robotaxis, which are supposed to, according to Elon, are supposed to be out there in June in Austin. Not buying it. It's not easy. And if the cost of running those cars is 25 cents a mile and the cars can turn a profit, eliminating the driver cost, obviously, that may compete with car ownership, but not rideshare in its current form. In its current form, with a driver, with the costs, with the insurance costs, with everything else Uber complains about, that's a fantasy. Mr. Koshashai, the reason, not your son, but the reason a lot of Gen Zers and Gen Xers and whatever the next generation is can't buy a car is because it's prohibitive. They're broke. They're living in mother's basements. They can't afford it. Not because they don't want it. They just can't afford it. That's where life is, the real life out there, Mr. Koshashai. That's the problem, right? Today, if you go buy a used Prius, the most economical car that I know of, a 5-7-year-old Prius, you're going to fork out 15 grand. Even on a note of $200-300 a month, add your insurance, add your gas, add your wear and tear, add your maintenance, is $600, $700 a month, right? Man, I'm telling you, if I did every one of my trips 5 days a week from work to home and it's only 10 miles away, Uber and Lyft are going to charge me $30. That's $60 a day. That's $300 right there, and it's $1,200 a month. I haven't gone to the market yet. I haven't taken my kids to soccer practice yet. If Uber was charging, 25 cents a mile, then it may replace car ownership. It's not going to replace car ownership for a long, 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 long time to come. It's just not going to happen.
No, definitely not. That's a pipe dream. And again, it's part of the sales tactic, I think, when it comes down to it. But if you actually sit down and do the numbers, it doesn't even make sense. Like, I understand, yes, you want to take it out at certain times and but car ownership is still, going to be the primary, and people are going to own cars for a number of reasons. And unfortunately, some of the generation right now, they don't necessarily want to, because they've, been, unfortunately, a victim of, overparenting and, putting the safety on everything. And it's like, no, go out, have some fun. What happened to latchkey kids? Go out, do something. You don't need to be, you don't need to have somebody hold your hand the entire time. You don't need to have, get out there, learn something, do something. I don't know. I don't get it, but
your son can do it, Mr. Kosher Shai, because he has a CEO daddy that makes $40 million a year. I'm not sure your son is 18.
Well, not only that, he's probably got a nice little code that gets him free rides.
No, man. All I know is that it's not a knock on DK and his son or this and that. That's another pipe dream. Like when Travis had the pipe dream until that autonomous car killed that poor biker in Arizona 8 years ago. Okay, this is another pipe dream that they're trying to sell. It's going to be car ownership may be replaced, maybe, if these autonomous vehicles can figure out how to drive for 20 to 25 cents a paid mile, all in, including insurance, including everything. And then I order an Uber from here to go to Trader Joe's. Chris, from here to Trader Joe's, Uber charges me $12. It's 1.8 miles, right?
Ooh.
Exactly. So I go to Trader Joe's, buy my shit, come back, $25. How's that going to replace car ownership, Dara? Now, if you charge me $3 in an AV that's available in 4 minutes, then I may think about replacing my car, which is literally costing me. We have 3 cars at home. It's costing me $3,500 between 3 cars. And
I don't even know if that is going to be enough to replace car ownership.
At some point,
the only thing I could see is if you had something like iRobot, where it was just a bunch of cars and you just get into the car, or even like something like Minority Report, where you just get in the car and it's kind of yours for the time being, and then it takes you to where you need to go. It drives off onto the next one, and it's something like that, where there's just an abundance of cars that are on the road, in order to make sure that when you are leaving to go somewhere, the car is there waiting for you. I think that's the only way they're going to be able to do it. Other than that, most people are going to continue owning their cars. And I wouldn't be surprised if you gave Gen Z the ability to, make some money, or, get out there and view the world, because right now they're not. I mean, how many people are still virgins and they're hitting like 30? Like, it's ridiculous. They're not going out. They're not dating. They're not doing anything. They're living in this little bubble where they're just gaming or whatever. And it doesn't.
They can afford it.
I don't know about you, but it didn't cost me that much to go out and have a little fun.
Times are different. They've been sold this idea. You go to college, you come out. They all, spent all this money at college, the ridiculous degrees. And then they come out, they can't get minimum wage jobs, and they're all living in their mother's basements. And then they go like, "Oh shit, life is expensive." Oh yeah, welcome to the real world, folks. There you go. But
I'm gonna get a useless degree and have $250,000 in debt,
exactly.
And I can't pay it off because the job that I got pays me $18 an hour. So I got
Yeah,
to go drive Uber part of
yeah.
the time. And they only pay
Anyway,
40 cents on the dollar
that's
for the
another
mile.
snake oil salesman thing. Oh, you need to go to college. No, you don't need to go to college. Go become an
No, you
electrician.
definitely don't need to go to
Go
college.
become a plumber.
Stay
Hey,
away from college right now.
go
Dude, you
become a
could learn.
contractor,
I've learned more on YouTube than I have in college.
bro.
Facts.
95% of the kids who go to college, they come out looking for minimum wage jobs.
Dude, the
They
only
make
thing I
40,
liked
50
college
grand a
for was
year.
the parties.
It's like,
That was it.
whatever.
The
That's a
parties
different
were
subject.
that's a difference. I mean, look, that's probably the best thing, but there's so many people that aren't doing that. They're not socializing anymore. They sit
No.
on their phones and they're like, oh, da, ba, da, ba, da. I mean, like shows used to joke about that where they're sitting on the couch texting
Yeah,
each other. And
yeah.
it's like, that's the reality though.
Yeah, yeah. No, it happens in my house too. You know, like the upstairs to downstairs. We have a two-story. You know, my daughter will be down. I'll be up doing something, and then my daughter goes, "Dinner is ready." I go, "What the fuck are you doing? I'm in the house." Like, why are you texting me from upstairs to downstairs? What is happening here? Anyway, whatever. Now
Yeah,
comes
it's wild.
along Gen Alpha. Is that the next generation? Gen Alpha? Is that the next
Yes.
one? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Good luck on
And
that.
I think it's wrapping up. Like the generation is wrapping up, and they're expecting that it's only going to be about 40 million of the next gen.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
millennials are at 72 million. Gen Z, I think, is at like 68 million or something like that.
Well,
And Gen Alpha is supposed to be like 42 million.
Well, there's the only thing that's going to save Gen Z's ass. You know what that is? The generational wealth transfer from the baby boomers to which is their parents to them. Because it's trillions of trillions
Yeah,
of
but
dollars.
you go the next one's millennials that are going to
Yeah.
take over. So you have the baby boomers to millennials. So
Yeah.
they're not even going to get it. But the problem is
some are going to get it. Yeah. So
I mean some, but the reality is it'll go from baby boomers to millennials.
well, all I know is the newer generation is quite different than what we used to be like. I couldn't wait to get my license and get the fuck out and go pick up a
Same
chick.
here.
You know what I mean?
They were I mean,
like,
look, yo, what happened to like I loved the metal playgrounds. You know, you had the thing where you like the spinning thing.
yeah.
And it was like you would get on there, you would get it fast. You could get that thing going where kids would fly off,
Oh no,
probably break an
now,
arm or something.
yeah, lawsuit now.
You'd have that metal slide, which you go down, it's 300 degrees when it's baking in the sun. You had a
Yeah.
wooden playground that you played on, get some slivers in the hands and the knees and stuff. You know, now it's like, let's get these little safe zones and bubble wrap everything. And it's like, no, that's the problem. It's time to go let the kids go be kids and have some fun instead of sitting in the freaking classroom bored out of their minds saying, oh, they have ADHD. So let's give them some drugs.
Yeah,
Okay,
skim
come
some
on.
Ritalin. Anyway, but so I disagree.
Mess
I
them
just
out.
like there's car ownership replacement is going to depend on Tesla robotaxis driving around at 20 cents a mile. If that even at that one, like Chris said, may be questionable. Because
Yeah,
why
because
would I pay?
it's not just the cost. It's not just the cost that it's going to come down to. It's going to come
Time.
to other factors like
There's time.
reliability, the time to get one. All of those things are going to ease how they look, how they smell. I mean, let's face it. We want to. Not everything's like the movies. So when I mentioned those couple of movies, yeah, that's not how things are going to be. People are going to go in there. They're going to tear them apart. They're going to look like shit. They're going to smell bad. They're probably going to bring some alcohol in there, pour it. They're probably going to do something else in there, spray it. There's a lot of different things that's going to happen inside those things. And, you just have people that are, going to enjoy it. And other people are going to be like, no, car for me. I want my own car. I want my own peace and quiet. I want to drive. I want to do this. I want to do that when I want, where
It's
I
a big
want.
task. Look, it's a big task to completely replace car ownership. I do get car
Oh,
ownership
yeah.
is getting more and more expensive every day. I get it. I get that. But
Yeah, but
also,
so is Uber
rideshare
and
is getting
Lyft.
more and more expensive every day. So if rideshare was not getting more expensive for the rider every day, then maybe, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.